Guide to launching, growing, and scaling a thriving online fitness business. I'm your host, Tobias Young. And whether you're just starting out or looking to take your business to the next level, this podcast is packed with actionable tips, real world strategies, and the insights you need to crush your business goals and build the business of your dreams. Now that you're here, let's dive in. What's up, FitBiz fam? Welcome back to the FitBiz Accelerator, where we bring you real, raw conversations with the top performers in the fitness industry who are building empires, changing lives, and redefining what is possible. And today, buckle up. We've got a powerhouse in the building. And this is a woman who turned pro in just 4 weeks, won her first IFBB Pro show the very next day, and hasn't looked back ever since. She's competed in 3 Olympias, placed top 6 twice, crushed stages on both sides of the Atlantic, judged gymnastics, modeled in UK Fashion Week, raised an elite level gymnast, and oh yeah, she also helped paint her house with her own creative flair. Yes, so this is Michelle. Let me know how you pronounce your last name. I don't want to mess it up.
Oh, it's all right. Fredua-Mensah.
Okay, there we go. Welcome to the show, Michelle. So let's take it way back, Michelle. 4 weeks as an amateur. And then bam, you turn pro. And then you win your first pro show the very next day.
Yes.
Right? So walk us through that timeline. What was going on in your mind? Did you even have the time to adjust mentally before stepping on that pro stage? How did it go?
I just said, you know what? It's a massive comp, going to the Arnolds, whether it's amateur or pro. And I'm just going to try my best and see what happens. And that's pretty much what I've done this whole entire journey. Like, have belief in myself, but at the same time, be like, all I can do is my best.
Yeah.
And then my best, I guess, got me this far. And then most importantly, enjoy the journey. Like, just have fun with it. I love performing. Never thought I would compete in bodybuilding when I first started in the gym. I thought, you know what, I'm going to do something that's going to give me longevity, keep me active. I'm a busybody. I need something after doing cheerleading, gymnastics. I've done ballet, all sorts. So it just so happened my body, first of all, my mind just went that way. When someone said, oh, you could do this, I was like, all right, I'll give it a go, but when I do give something a go, I try to be the best that I can be. I'm not really worried about accolades, and I know that might surprise a lot of people, but I'm not. I'm just more about the vibe. If I feel good, then I will roll with that, even if it places me where someone says it's not a desirable slot.
But you compete, do you compete kind of against yourself in regard to that, what you're saying? Like, so you're like, I don't really care about what's going on, who else is competing. Like, I'm just going to go out there, make sure I'm having fun, but also competing at my best when I do it.
Yes, that's it. Literally.
Cool.
I don't even watch who's coming. Don't want to say in a funny way, but I don't care that way. Obviously I have made friends and all of that, so I'm like, oh, I get to catch up with you, and that's so nice, but I'm not thinking about it in a way where, oh, you're coming, and all. No, I'm like, okay, let's just try and do better than I did last time, or take the feedback on that I got, or challenge myself a little bit. And me just being just a little bit better, I just get a massive buzz out of it, and that's literally what drives me in whatever I do. So yeah, just leveling up every time, for myself. And even if it's something small, like, oh, I don't know, the judges said you need to point your toes more. And if I point my toes, I'm like, oh, I pointed my toes. So excited.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it's the little things that make a big difference. And I'm the same way. And when I used to compete, obviously with me, it's been a long time. Well, it's been since 2017 since I did a pro show, but I just wanted to compete against myself. And I was like, I don't care who else is in there. I didn't ever look at the roster. I didn't want to I didn't care about that. I didn't even know half the names that were in there too. Everybody's like, oh, you're competing against so-and-so. And I'm like, that's cool. I don't care. Other competitors I know psych themselves out and they'd be so nervous. And I'm like, have fun. Like, this is this should be fun for you. And I
Yeah.
mean, you train
Chill
so hard.
out.
Yeah, like let's go. Let's go out there and
Yeah, I'm like,
enjoy.
may the best woman win, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah, we're the
yeah.
same.
So, did you even have time mentally to adjust before stepping on your first pro stage? Because it would just happen so fast for you.
No, I didn't
Yeah,
really. I mean, I had what, barely, I had a night.
yeah,
You know, first of all, you're on such a high because I got my pro card. Um, it was the first ever Arnold's UK, so that's exciting in itself.
yeah,
Then you get your pro cards, and then you get invited to the pro show the next day. I literally couldn't take it all in,
yeah.
you know. And not that they said it was the first time they ever had 5 people in the fitness category to even get the pro card to be eligible, because
Yeah.
you have to have a minimum of 5 people on stage. So, and that's never happened again on this side of the pond. So it was a lot. I just knew that I needed to perform again the next day. So obviously I think that adrenaline got me through, because I couldn't go, go eat that donut or anything,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to. I was just so excited.
Yeah.
I was like, I can wait, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and just to perform it again, I didn't have any pressure. I didn't have any, expectations on myself. I didn't even know how to feel, if that makes sense. I was just on a cloud, because I was like, I'm a pro. Like, now what? And then was like, you got the pro show
And you
today.
took
Hello. I'm
second,
like,
dude.
yeah.
You took second in a pro show. That's
Well, I won
insane.
that pro
Oh,
show.
you won that. Oh shit. It
That was
wasn't
the
even that.
Arnold's. Yeah,
Oh
I
my
won
gosh.
that pro show. So,
That's crazy. Like stepping on and winning a pro show in your first show, like one day
and then
after even turning pro.
qualifying for Olympia.
That's
And that was a
insane.
whole other ball game in my head. It was a lot going on.
Yeah. That's crazy. So what do you think separated you from the rest of the pack so early on in your career?
I had a lot of time to think about that, actually, and I've been asked that several times now. I think it's because maybe it's I would say my third time getting to a very high caliber
Mhm.
in a sport or being an athlete. So I've always had that discipline. I always knew what work needed to be put in to be at the top. Now, whether I was subconsciously channeling this, I think so, in bodybuilding, because I had no ambition to be like, oh, I must be number one or else. No. I was like, well, I'm gonna have fun and see how far this takes me.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how I came into it. I didn't want any pressure, because I've already been there, done that with the pressure.
Mhm.
And I was like, I started this at the age of 30. I already by then had my daughter as well.
Mhm.
So I was like, I literally just want to have fun, inspire her as well, most importantly, just to go after your dreams. And then before you know it, I realized I was inspiring others. So I just thought, I just want as many people as possible to feel how I feel,
Yeah.
just very happy within myself,
That's
um,
amazing.
no matter what happens.
Yeah.
So
And
that's pretty much drove me.
yeah, and you've now been a pro for 4 years. Like you competed in multiple
Yes.
Arnolds. You did the UK, you did the
Yeah.
USA, and you
Yeah.
placed top 3 at every single Arnold. For those of you who don't know what the Arnold Classic is, it's insane. It's like the highest level. I mean, that the Olympia, but it's
Yeah.
like the highest level. There's like it's so fun. And if you guys haven't been to an Arnold yet, you guys got to go check it out. It's like the whole freaking stretch
Yeah.
of crazy fitness. But that's something to say about like your work ethic and how you just stay in there at a super high level. And obviously having a gymnastics background and you correlating that into fitness, because a lot of people think bodybuilding is just where you go up there and there's nothing, but you compete in a whole different category. Can you explain the difference between
Mhm.
fitness and something like figure or bodybuilding to
Yeah.
those listeners out there?
So our body or physique is actually the same as figure. However, it is 30% of our mark. And in the figure or the other categories, your body or your physique is 100%.
Mhm.
So that's 30, or 1/3, you can call it. And then the other 2/3 is our fitness routine. Now, our fitness routine is then marked in a way. So we get a score. and then that score is doubled, and then it's added to our physique round score, and whoever gets the lowest score, the least amount of errors, is whoever places the top.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how it works. So we have to really concentrate actually on our routine and still have a body as well, the same as the figure criteria.
Yeah. And so, I mean, there's so much discipline, you guys, inside, figure and every single one of those categories. But to have that extra component of fitness, you guys, this is like where they're doing crazy, different things with their bodies, single arm push-ups, going straight into like, flips and, crazy
Yeah.
acrobatic type things in there. And I'm just like, wow. Because when I was depleted from,
Yeah.
from competing in bodybuilding, the last thing I did was have any energy or strength for anything. I would go to the gym and I would be weak just because my
Yeah.
body was so depleted. And for you to have all that energy and show that explosive and strength and like coordination, in agility, and still like have those smiles and have an amazing figure at the same time is just like, I think it's like probably the hardest thing out there out of all the categories. And that's why like less people
Yeah.
do it, because you got to put so much work into it.
You do. And you have to strategize as well. So, you have to play to your strengths. So some may do better in the physique round versus the routine. Some may play on that. Because again, you can see how the marks total up. So but at the end of the day is to produce the best possible package that you can produce altogether.
Yeah.
So that's when the fun comes in, because I love like solving puzzles. I
Yeah.
did from a kid. So to me, it's all like a puzzle to me.
Mhm.
How can I complete it? And, for myself. And then if I can't, keep refining, there's always something you can do. Um, so I like that challenge. I like that mental challenge as well. So I don't just rely on me being physically strong or being able to do the skills. You have to be mentally strong in this. And that really sets you up for life, like in
Yeah.
anything that you do.
Yeah.
So I can walk into anything and feel confident about myself, which probably gets me, further in my, other careers.
Yeah.
So, and then I can show others, okay, if you can get to this point and how to get to this point, you can do it too. And I think that is so powerful.
Yeah. And you talk about that mental component in there. How do you
Yeah.
mentally prepare for the high stakes shows like the Olympia, the Arnolds, and those?
I always say that I have a shot, number one. I never shot myself down. I'll be like, well, I could win, you know.
Hmm.
I'm also realistic as well. So I'll be like, okay, well, probably have to have a very clean day here and maybe do this and maybe, um, but I never go in without belief is the key word here,
Hmm.
you know. As long as I try my best, I'm just like, okay, we'll see where I land.
Yeah.
But I know what it takes to get to the top.
Yeah.
Whether I'm ready or not, only fate will tell. And if I need to carry on and work on it, I will.
Yeah.
In fact, I thrive off feedback. When I have little feedback, I start to go a bit, is that
Yeah.
it?
You get stale. Yeah.
You sure? So
Yeah, I'm the same way too. I love that
yeah,
in there too, because that's where you grow is when you get that
yeah.
constructive feedback. Some people hide and they're like, oh man, they let it break
Mm,
them. But no, it should build you. Like your feedback is how you'll continue to grow. Right. So,
yeah.
what was harder for you, chasing your pro card or chasing
Mhm.
your Olympia qualification? I know they were both easy for you, but which one was harder?
I was definitely saying my pro card because I didn't have a clue how I would feel on the stage
Yeah.
at that caliber. Number one, going for a pro card because that was my first time going to a pro qualifier. It was
Mhm.
a lot of first.
Yeah.
So I was like, I felt like I was walking into the unknown.
Hmm.
And as much as I could have got all the advice and support, you have to experience it first, and then you can come to your own conclusion.
Yeah.
So it was literally like walking into the unknown. So I would say definitely going for my pro card,
Okay.
because I just didn't know what will happen, or what, I don't know, if I would be like, oh, okay, you have a lot of work to do. or you're halfway there, you're three-quarters way there, or I don't know what was going to go on. All I knew is that I was going to give it my all, and then take it from there, and then make another plan of action. But I knew I wanted to do it at that point.
Yeah. And you guys, for those of you guys that are listening, being able to turn pro in 4 weeks is like unheard of, right? So it's like, I mean, getting your IFBB Pro card is like, for example, going to the NFL. Like when everybody's trying to go to the NFL, it's like the high level. And then obviously getting the Pro Bowl vote is kind of like going to the Olympia. And there's different levels, right? But in perspective, I competed from 2002 to 2017, so 16 years. I didn't turn pro until 2015. So it took me years and years and years of competing and refining. And every year, thinking, oh man, I got to work on my back. I got to, broaden my shoulders. I got to do, tighten my waistline. I got to get more sweep in my quads. Like there's so many different kind of components that go out. So, like to just hear that it was just like 4 weeks, I was like, oh, that's just insane to me. So one thing I love about you, Michelle, is that you're not just a competitor, you're a creator. You paint your house with your own hands. You dance ballet. You model. You've even been in music videos. Where does that creative energy come from?
I think from a kid, I've always been creative. I was always trying to build something, or I used to look in like magazines. I would get my allowance per week. I think at the time was like £1 or $1 equivalent.
Yeah.
And I would go buy a magazine, but like a magazine of, house interior. And I'll be just with the glue, ask my mom for some glue, and be sticking things together. And I remember one day she was like, "What are you even doing?" And then she looked at me and went, "You just built a house." I went, "Oh yeah." And I literally was sticking like all the things in an order. Apparently that's not heard of a 6-year-old.
Yeah. Oh, that's
But that's what
crazy.
I did all day. And I had various different projects, of course. It just came naturally. I've always wanted to tell a story through what I did. Even in school, whatever I did, I could either swing that way, or I was very, very factual. Factual.
Factual.
Factual.
Factual.
Factual. Could never say that word.
Yeah.
So for me, it's either one way or the other. I'm never in the middle. I don't know why. This is just how I am as a person. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, you just got creative early, and then obviously you got into dance and you just started to take it to that next level. So how do you balance that side of you with the structured discipline of fitness and bodybuilding? How do you kind of like have that balance?
I just, because I love everything that I do, I say to myself, I have one main goal, and then others can take like, I won't say a backseat, but yeah, I'll be like, okay, I'm still doing this though for fun. And then somehow though, bodybuilding has made it so that I'm able to merge all my life together. Some people say it was my pathway, destiny.
Yeah.
But it somehow made it so that I'm able to do everything that I love. And that I thought I would never find something like that. I was happy to just do 1/10 of what I loved, as a career. So it's very easy for me to juggle everything, because I'm just like, okay, well, my goal right now is to go to Olympia. So at the moment, yes, I can still do ballet. I can shoot ballet, so I'll do that. There's different options, and that's how I grew up with. There's options, there's planning, organizing. I'm very good at organizing, so I will organize myself and be like, right, I need to do this, this, this. I love a book where I can see all the bullet points and tick things off and all of that. So vision boards, I love that.
Oh, those are incredible. I love those things. But you use that creative juice, and you said you love kind of putting those pieces together, and that's why you even help other fitness competitors and things with their routines, right? So you do all that.
Yes.
Do you think having creative outlets actually helps you with competing? Because obviously having that gymnastics background and that creativity, like being able to, think outside the box when it comes to your routines, obviously, is going to probably be a huge asset for you, compared to somebody else that doesn't have that background, right?
Yeah, so I have a team as well. I work very closely with them, but they allow my creative juices to exude through whatever I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that just combining the two together, because I can go like overboard.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, we're onto something, and then I'll
Mm-hmm.
focus. So I'm
Okay.
that type of person. So it's always good, I feel, to have a support network
Yes.
as well. But one that will allow you to grow and thrive,
Okay.
and be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I am so lucky to have a group around me that allows me to do so. And I'll be like, okay, I think this will work, but I'm not sure. And they'll be like, oh, it could work if you do it maybe this way.
Yeah.
So, and I'm a trier, so I'm willing to adapt. And I
Nice.
think that's the key word here. So, being able to adapt and learn is very powerful.
Yeah.
So I use those tools to then home in on my creativity in this, and then it gets reflected into my routine.
Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, definitely having that background, so you can even your team probably knows what's your strengths, what your weaknesses are, so
Yes.
they can kind of help you build with all that. And something else, you're a
Mhm.
mom to a 12-year
Yes.
old elite gymnast. First off, that's amazing.
Yes.
Genetics
Thank
and
you.
work ethic clearly run deep in your family. So, what's
Yeah.
it like raising a daughter who's walking in her own elite athletic path?
It's very fascinating. I'm literally like,
Yeah.
wow, like she's my daughter.
Yeah.
Um, I think I'm more excited about her journey. Can I say that? I can, right?
You can. Yeah.
I'm most definitely more excited about her journey.
Yeah.
And then I think the excitement for me as well for my journey is that she gets excitement off of my journey for her own journey. So I think it just drives me even more. And then it drives her. And then can you see how this works?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it was funny because my daughter chose gymnastics and she didn't even know I was a gymnast. So
Oh, wow.
it was her path.
Yeah.
I wanted her to have her own path. I didn't want to be that person that said, oh, because you did it, she did it.
Yeah.
No, she chose it. And to be fair, she's crazier than me.
I don't know if that's
And she's
possible.
more
Just kidding.
obsessed, I think. I don't know. I don't know. But
Yeah.
she loves what she does is the key word here.
Yeah.
And she just doesn't want to leave the gym. So I know that's something that she wants to do. And I
Good.
always ask her, do you still want to continue? You can always do it for fun. She knows the options, but she's like, no, I want to do this. I want
Wow.
to do this. Even competitions, entering comps. I'm like, do you want to do it's a high level? It gets explained to her as well because I understand it. And then my family understand it as well because when I was being raised, they went through it.
Yeah.
So she's very much encouraged in a way to follow her own path, which
Yeah.
I'm super happy. It just so happened to be the same sort of path as me, except she does have there is some differences, but the main thing is that she knows that I have, I will fully support her in whatever she wishes to do. And she needs to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Don't do something because for the sake of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's important too, is enjoyment in there too, because I think if you become too obsessive about it, it can actually have a reverse effect where then they don't want to do it in there too. But if you let them feel like, hey, this is your jam, your world, wherever you want to take it, I will support you. And that's,
Yes.
typically super good. And then how do you support her without letting it become overwhelming? Is it just, being that helping hand to give her support where she needs it, and obviously not force feeding her like too many competitions, or maybe she wants a lot of competition. I don't know. So
Well, I always get asked, oh, do you just fully coach? And I was like, well, no, I wouldn't be able to do what I do.
yeah,
So she does have a coach. I think that's healthy.
yeah,
However, she can always come to me for advice. Even in one of our competitions, um, I ran up the other day and I said to her coach, "Oh, I think if she pushed her arms up more, she will hit a double." And he was like, okay, tell her, because they respect, what I say as well.
Yeah.
So I told her, and she landed it. And so they did say I can be invited down to just oversee, the whole team and just give little pointers from an outside perspective as well. So I want her to have that, coaching. I'm in a team if she, is competing for London or without the interference of me. But if she needs it, I'm here to help.
Yeah.
And she knows that. So she comes home sometimes. She's like, I really want to get my aerial really solid from 1 foot, for example. I'll be like, all right, let's go to the park, and then we work on it.
Yeah.
And because I'm qualified gymnastics coach and I know the rules and everything like that, I'm able to, really help her. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, so you can show your coach what we've learnt. And she's happy to do that, so I, again, just to make sure she reserves her space.
Yeah, that's good. What's a lesson that you learned on your fitness journey that you hope she takes with her too?
There's a lot of lessons probably,
Yeah.
but just be you, be the best version of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
um and that is what's going to be successful.
Yeah.
So, don't feel like you have to follow someone else's path, because there's different paths.
Yeah.
Who said that one path is the right path? Unless you're obviously doing something untoward, but what she's
Mm-hmm.
doing. So, I always said that. Even the type of gymnastics she does power tumbling. I was a women artistic gymnast.
Okay.
So that's again two different disciplines of gymnastics.
Yeah. That's
So,
good.
and she wanted to do that discipline.
Okay.
So again, choosing our own path.
Yeah. No, that's good. And you know what? Let's switch gears. Let's talk about business too, Michelle. So
Yes.
you train clients both in person and online, which is something a lot of our
Yes.
audience wants to be able to master. What's
Yeah.
working best for you right now in attracting and also retaining your online clients?
A lot of them say I'm inspiring. So
Okay.
I'm not a typical, what's it say? Like, be like, oh, eat this nutrition online and all of that, which of course you need to put that information out there. I'm more about like how I feel that day and whether that will inspire someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, whether my journey will inspire them, what I've gone through, my experience. So that's pretty much how I approach it. And that seems to work extremely well for me.
Okay.
I also, this approach gets clientele that I really relate to, or they relate to me. And I think that's super important as a coach.
Yeah.
Um, so it means that you'll have, longevity. You'll be able to feel comfortable with that person to, get you through your journey and to your goals. So that is the best feeling for me. And I try to keep a team that I can manage, that I can really support. So that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I'm doing, I have online clients and I have in the gym as well.
Yeah.
So at the moment, both seem to be working well. And I then have to also remember that I am competing. So
Yes.
I make sure that I'm able to handle my team, my clients, even when I'm on prep all year around. It doesn't matter. I will cap it as well, just so that we all have a great, you know, future and we can get to our goals and they know they are supported.
Yeah. Great experience where you're not spread too thin, obviously, is going to be really important. And
Yes.
the way
Yes.
that you talked about the relatability, I think that's huge because
Mhm.
when you go out there and you put yourself out and you're just yourself on social media,
Yeah.
those type of people that are going to relate to your vibe, to your journey, those are the type
Yeah.
of people that you're going to attract. And those are the ones you're going to wake up every morning and you're like, oh my gosh, I love what I do. I work with
I
the
do.
type of clients that I love. Whereas if you try
Yeah.
to be like somebody else on social media, just because you see another influencer doing something else, then you'll start to attract a different type of people that
Yeah.
maybe you don't vibe with. So I love that. And how do you market yourself, right? As a pro athlete, as a mom, as a trainer, creative, without confusing your audience? What do you do?
literally walk the walk.
Yeah.
Action speaks louder than words is my favorite
Yes.
saying.
Hmm.
And I think that is what's been, you know, a breaker in terms of my success. A lot of people could say to me, "You've done it. You've gone through it. I've watched you." That's what they find inspiring, and that's why they want to come to me
Hmm.
for that support and help.
Yeah. Is there any new tips or any tips in general for the newer trainers that are trying to juggle, content creation, managing their clients,
Mhm.
consistency? What would you say to them?
I would say, first of all, know which direction you want to go in. You know, what are your goals? First of all,
Hmm.
your own personal goals, as well as your goals for your clientele and your business.
Yeah.
If you want to juggle the two, because at the end of the day, for example, bodybuilding brought me to personal training. So if my career is not what it's meant to be, it will filter down into my clients.
Hmm.
So whatever you're putting out there, you need to back up as well, you
Yeah.
know. Um, so I think, to me, is organization in terms of how you want to do it, how you want to build. I'm not saying you got to do this great big massive plan, because you won't know until you do it,
Yeah.
but at least have some sort of direction, and then most importantly, a why.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Yeah, absolutely. And then you'll start to really dive deeper and give your clients a deeper meaning of
Yes.
fulfillment inside there too.
Yeah.
A lot of us as trainers speaking became trainers because we had a struggle that we dealt with, whether that was mentally,
Yes.
whether we felt physically inferior, something like that. So being able to give back and help that similar type of person overcome those same adversities is like it's what drove me. I don't know what drove you to become an actual trainer in the first place.
When I was younger, I was very introverted,
Okay.
very, like, painfully shy. Um, was very scared of everything.
Hmm.
And I decided I didn't want to be like that, because in my head, that's not the person that I was.
Yeah.
So when I was able to work on that, and show my true natural self, I wanted to show others that you can do it too.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
not saying you have to change yourself, because you often hear that when you're, an introvert. Why can't you just be louder and all these things? No, you do it in your own time. But again, if you this is how you want to be and you want to express yourself, we gotta go through ways of learning how to do that in a way that you resonate with.
Hmm.
So I was able to learn that by doing certain things. So I knew that, for example, I loved modeling, but I wouldn't get a casting if I'm all like
Too
scared
introverted.
of people,
Yeah.
or looked scared of people, or my
Yeah.
body language said so.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, if that's the goal I want, I need to learn to put myself across and how I actually want, you to view me.
Hmm.
So I worked on it. I put
Yeah.
myself in, interviews, front of cameras, and did all sort of things that was way out of my comfort zone. I was shaking and all sorts, but I did it. And then after that, I was like, oh, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I might have laughed at how I sounded, or how, but we all do that. But once you get over that, you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
what else have you got to lose now? Just say how you feel. And, people will resonate with it. It might not be everyone, because we can't get on with everyone in the world.
Hmm.
But, someone will resonate with it. So I learned that. And once I learned that, the rest was history. I was, able to express myself, whether you want to listen to me or not, but I'm going to show you my true self.
Yeah. Good for you, Michelle. Um,
Thank you.
Yeah, and obviously you train both, in person and online. So,
Yeah.
online, a lot of people are really loving because it brings so much, flexibility and so much freedom and so forth. So, what do you love most about online training?
I could connect with a lot of people around the world.
Yes.
Yeah. And I realized, different cultures react differently to training. I learned so much just training people around the world, seeing the sceneries as well when I train them, let's say on a video call, and um, their way of thinking. Um, and just using those tools that they have and I have to get them to their goal. I
Yeah.
find it so fascinating.
Yeah.
Um, and that the fact that they're able to then connect with me, because they may have watched my journey and they're like, oh wow, I can actually be trained by you and not be in London.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy how you can just train the type of people that you love to work with and so forth.
Yeah,
And you can reach more people online. And, you know,
of course.
also, I mean, obviously, if we go back to kind of like your competition days or, you know, vibe in there too, you were also an elite in gymnastics and cheerleading, even
Yeah.
competing at worlds. Like, yes, cheerleading too, besides everything else. All right, you've done it all. So how did these
Yeah.
sports shape your work ethic and your body awareness as a pro competitor? And do you still use skills from gymnastics and cheer when you're doing your stage presentations, competitions?
Yes, I would say actually I use a lot of skills from my cheerleading experience because the flooring type,
Hmm.
I did hard floor and sprung floor in cheerleading. And you know, in bodybuilding we had to perform on the stage.
Yeah.
So that prepared me for that.
Yes.
Um and then I would say the more standing tumbles, I didn't necessarily do that in gymnastics unless I was on a beam. Um, and then most importantly in cheerleading, I learned how to perform
Hmm.
because you know I had to do all those cheer faces, and you have to stand out
Yeah.
in a group, as you know, to the judges as well as in your group. Um, so again, it was known to me as a performance above all. So I was able to take that and then my gymnastic skills that I did learn, to then look at the criteria for bodybuilding and be like, okay, so how can I utilize the two?
Yeah.
Because again, it combines the two.
Yep.
However, I did still have to learn quite a bit in terms of fitness, because fitness in itself is different to both. You know, I had to
Mhm.
learn a press up of any kind,
Yeah.
which I was like, oh, this is no. I saw, then I looked and people are flying and all this. I was like, oh gosh, I gotta fly. Straddle holds. I could do a basic hold. I couldn't do a croc or, you know, hold my hand out on one hand in a croc, or I couldn't do any of that. But I had the foundation, which I could take from my gymnastics background. Handstands again. In gymnastics, the artistic gymnastics, we only really pass through handstands. We're not handstand balancers.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to hold a handstand and then create shapes. That was
Yeah.
fun, you know.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that. I was just holding a straight handstand because I hold it for 3 seconds before I did my giant on the, you know, on the bars.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
about it. Um, so I had to learn quite a bit, even kicks. I wasn't known as a jumper before. I was known as elegant, pretty lines. I was so light in gymnastics. I didn't need any power. I was just, you know, going with the air.
Yeah.
So um when I built muscle, I realized, oh my gosh, I have power.
Yeah.
Then I had to learn to control the power. That was a whole nother thing. And then I realized I can actually jump. Tell you a funny story. Cheerleading, my jumping was so bad, but my tumbling was great, and so was my standing tuck. They masked my jump. I had to duck down and not
Ah,
do a straddle jump. So the fact that people say your jumps are so high now, and that, you know, they want to see my jumps, I just find that interesting. I have to laugh about it because I'm like, if you knew me cheerly,
yeah. You turned your
it
weakness
was
into a
terrible.
huge strength. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear. Yeah, I turned into a huge strength, but I never gave up on it. You know, I
Yeah.
could have been like, "Oh, I was so bad in cheerleading. Why even bother try this?" But no, I thought, you know what? Let's make it better.
Yeah. No.
And just give it my best shot, and that's what I came up with. So
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, Michelle. Time for what's called the rapid fire round. So these are quick answers,
yeah.
whatever comes to mind.
Mhm.
You ready for this?
Yeah,
All right, let's dive in. Favorite post-show meal?
pizza.
Ah. One song that always gets you hyped before training.
Every day I'm hustling.
Every day I'm hustling. All right. Um, what paint color in your home are you most proud of?
Mint.
What's harder, prep or parenting?
Parenting.
One word that describes you off stage.
I don't know, actually.
I'm tricking you.
Crazy, probably.
Crazy?
Yeah, I'll say crazy.
Crazy. Okay. She's a wild one. Michelle, this has been such a fun and inspiring convo. Thank you so much. You've literally been so motivating, and you're literally helping redefine what it means to be a multi-dimensional powerhouse. So, final question for you. What message would you give to women, especially moms, who think they have to choose between fitness, creativity, and family?
You can do it all. You can even, get your family behind you. There's always options. You can create your own support network. So don't feel like you have to stick to one network if it's not working.
Yeah.
Find a support network that will help you. There's always someone out there that will help you get to wherever you want to get to. And, there's a lot of moms out there who are doing everything, and they didn't find it easy, but they can help you navigate through your challenges.
Ooh, good. All right, FitBiz fam, you heard it from a real one today, Michelle Fredua-Mensah.
Close, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we'll take that. Fredua-Mensah.
All right. And she's proof that you can go pro in your craft without giving up your art, your family, or your freedom. So if this episode fired you up, make sure to share it, tag us, and drop a 5-star review. And if you're building your own fitness business and want to attract more clients and scale with systems and dominate your niche, you already know what to do. Michelle, where can people go to find you if they want to learn more about you?
Go to my Instagram, ShellyFit_IFBB Pro.
All right. And if there's somebody that wants you to train them, would it be the same place?
If you want me to train you as a personal trainer, yep, same place. Instagram. Okay. I'm on YouTube underneath the same name. I'm on TikTok underneath the same name. So I made it very easy for you to find me.
Amazing. Thanks so much for tuning in, squad. Thanks for tuning in to the FitBiz Accelerator. If you found value in today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a tip or strategy to grow your online fitness business. And if you're ready to fast track your success, don't forget to check out tntfitprocoaching.com. Until next time, stay consistent, stay focused, and keep crushing it.